Independence coach John Lilly. John, tough loss for you guys tonight to Liberty, 36-26. Talk about this loss.
Well, I think it was the senior team that beat a sophomore team, and we're real young in some key spots, and we don't handle adversity very well. So we've got a lot of learning to do, a lot of teaching to do, and we got to protect football. So you put all that together, and that's a recipe for a bad night. I think we're a good football team. We played real hard. We had an opportunity to get back in the game and fell short, but they played well. We did not at times, and they got the victory.
They did a pretty decent job on Atticus tonight. He did have some nice runs. I know he was over 100 yards. What did they do you think that enabled him to stop him?
Well, it wasn't no secret. They played 9 in a box and just dared us to throw the ball. And, we threw the ball pretty well, I thought. But, there late in the game, we were they were sending 9 on 6 and manning us up. And, you got to get the ball out of your hands quick or, make plays with your wide receivers. So, I think it's a big learning tool. I mean, we got one 9th grade wide receiver and 2 sophomores. So I think they're very talented, but we're still learning, and we still got a lot of teaching to do. And I'm very proud of the kids. They fought back just like they did last week. We had an opportunity.
And I know an old ball coach like yourself, those turnovers, can't have them in big games like this. I know that was a big key in the game.
Yeah, and tackle better. We on the kickoffs, we had him stopped and he broke the tackle. But you don't win big games against good teams if you're going to turn the ball over 4 times. And if you count the snap over the head when we're on the 10-yard line, that score is not indicative of what happened.
Right.
We lost our center at halftime, so we were scratching there to get our center snapping the ball well.
Was it just a case where they had a lot of experienced guys in some positions where you didn't have experience? I think all those guys you saw tonight played against you. They've been in these games the last 2-3 years.
Well, I'm gonna say that a lot of that could probably be true. They got a lot of seniors, and our kids are very young and they don't understand situations. We got the ball on the 10-yard line. We're down by 2 scores. That's a 1-score game, and then we go back down and score again. All right, now we got the lead. But instead, we snapped the ball over the head. They survived the day, and we lose by 2 scores. So, it's just situational football.
You're up 12-0 early on these guys. And with that being the case, how big was the kickoff return in the large scheme of things? I mean, it made it 12-7, but it kind of seemed to give them a spark.
Yeah, it did. I thought, the kickoff team, I thought we had it handled right. We just missed a tackle, and the kid made a good run. So, you got to give him credit. And I thought they made some good catches tonight. And I thought we had some good coverage, and they just made good catches. So sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you.
I know you've got a good team here. I mean, you got some talent. It is a young team, though. What do you do to get this team back in the mindset of the way they were playing the first 3 games? And I'm granted this competition's been a little stiffer the last couple of weeks. But what do you do to get these guys back in the right frame of mind?
Well, it's basically just getting back to fundamentals. We try to do that this week. Really get out and work on tackling and blocking. And at times, out there we had on our offensive line we got 4 sophomores and a senior, and then we had an injury or 2 there. And now we're into 2 more sophomores. Our front 6 is sophomores. So it's really just learning and getting back to fundamentals. And, when you got a young team, it's just teach. But you're right. We're going to have to, you got to have something positive happen to get you back on track.
How do you get Atticus going in the way he was the first 3 games? I mean, that's not really typical what he was doing the first 3 games, but how do you get him started again?
Well, I think Atticus is a victim of his success right now. I mean, 99% of the backs in the state will take a 100-yard game. Now, if he gets 100 yards, everybody thinks he had a bad night. And that's going to happen, and that kind of frustrates him because he knows he can rush for 300 or 200 against some teams. But when you start playing against better competition, you got to get your 6, 9, 6, 5, 4. You got to kind of work a little harder. And so he's a victim of his own success. I think he had probably 80 yards receiving and 100 yards rushing, I mean, that's a good night for 99% of the backs in the state.
Do you plan to use him more in the passing game? Is that something you think you can
Well,
maybe
you
get
know,
more, because you really didn't need to do that in the first 3 games of the season?
No, you know, we threw to him quite a bit last year, you know, in the wide receiver position,
Right.
you know, so, you know, I think it stresses the defense a little bit, you know, when you do that. But, you know, there's some things we need to tweak, and we got to really work on that blocking a little bit.
You got a package now with him as kind of a wildcat. Is that something that you'll
It's just kind of what, you know, how that we knew how they were going to defend us, and we thought we could try to get some cheap yards when we needed it, and it worked. It's just, you know.
will you have that in your back pocket?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. We had it in our back pocket. You know, use it when we need it. But you know, I think we're a better football team with Isaiah out there because he can throw.
All right. Okay, John, I appreciate it, man.
No
Thank you.
problem.